Hey, what's up? It's Whistle, and welcome back to Timberborn. In the last episode, we left off, and we were just about to get into a drought, our second drought of this series. Currently, we are just watching a farmer just pick up some food, but the drought is fast approaching, so let's get on into the game. So in the last episode, we wound up completing this lumber mill and the power wheel, which allowed us to build this forester here. And this forester is allowing us to plant all of these little saplings. So right now our birch saplings are about 20% of the way grown, at least these few that are planted, whereas our maples are about 16. So maples take, I believe, 24 days in order to grow, but they will give us 8 wood, and the birch, I believe they grow in about 8 days or so, but they only give us 1 log. So that was just kind of more of a let's get some wood real quick kind of thing, but I will be getting rid of those in the near future. I'm going to start by planting some more maples. We're just going to cover this whole area here because the forester should be able to reach all of that, and I'm actually going to even just go a couple down lower, but I will leave 1 and 2 open. So the reason I'm leaving those open is so I can get some lumberjacks down here as well. And everybody can just kind of chop trees that are nearest to them, and they don't have to walk halfway across of this little plateau here in order to get to the trees they are supposed to be cutting down. So as far as preparations for the drought, we do have 180 water. All of these are full, and we only have, up here on the top left, we have 19 beavers. So we should be able to wind up getting through the drought, unless it's a ridiculously long one. In which case we will have to figure it out. But if I do the same thing I did last time, just cut down one of these water pumps so they are not producing any water, we should be more than good. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed this game up a little bit, because as you can see, nothing's really growing. We have these 2 beavers here just chilling, waiting for these large stack of trees to grow in. And then I'm going to just go ahead and get this queued up as well for whenever we're able to finally get around getting all of this planted. We can get going on that. And as I said in the last episode, we are going to pretty much be good on wood for the remainder of at least a long while with just this. We really don't need a whole ton of wood. We are, however, in need of some more storage. So I'm going to actually, let's see, 250 science. We are not anywhere near that. So for right now, let's just pop down another one of those bad boys. That will give us another 200 storage, which will be enough for a little bit. And I think the next thing I'm going to spend science on is this storage. Because this storage holds 200, this one holds 1,000, the next size up. So it's 5 times as big, and it does take up 2 stories as well. So you can make some pretty nifty little designs with that once you have them unlocked. 2 builders. I'm not sure why we're not building, because we don't have logs. That would do it. So once we get some logs, I guess we'll be able to continue building. In the meantime, I'm going to just set these to a higher priority. I want them to get done quick, so that way we can start expanding our little potato farm here, and we can get some more food for everybody. At some point this is going to, yes, that point is now, but it's going to run out of logs, so we won't be able to grill the potatoes, but we do have enough carrots and berries up here in the top left, so you should be able to see, you know, survival throughout this dry season just based on that food. But next one, we're almost definitely going to need some potatoes. As I said in my first video, potatoes will give Nutrition 2. So Nutrition 2 gives a plus 30% strength bonus to all of the beavers that eat it. So that will help just about everybody, because everybody's going to be carrying something for the most part. So you can see here they carry up to 10 kilograms without that. So with Nutrition 2, they should be carrying 13, if I'm doing the math correctly on that. And this is all cleared, so let's go ahead and get some more potatoes planted. I think I can go all the way. Yes, I can. So that's good. And we have Wonderful. So we have one of these farmhouses set to planting. The other one is going to be set on harvesting. That's just going to help us keep this as good as it can get, at least with these two. At some point I'll get rid of all these berries and this stuff here, turn all of this into farmland, and we'll probably have to add a third one in order to make that work, because they can only get to so many over the course of a day. And then stuff will grow, and we'll just have a bunch of empty carrots like we have down here that aren't being collected and nothing's happened with them. Okay, and the little tree farm is coming along nicely, so let's just add a couple more right here. Alrighty, so we're about half a day away from our dry season. I would probably build more of these, but we don't have any wood, so that's not going to help us at all. So I am not going to bother, and I'm just going to kind of hope that we make it through. So I had said in the last video that I'm going to, at some point once I get science, start building some stuff down here. There is a object in this game. It's called dynamite, so pretty self-explanatory. You build it, it blows things up, and what it will do is it will blow up the tile that it is on, but not any adjacent tiles. So if I have it coming out in a straight line from here, this whole little thing will be one tile lower, so I can make a little river out of that, and then I can actually use some of these water wheels. You know, just go in like this. If I make it too wide, I can make an artificial little river that will be able to power most of this stuff for a lot cheaper than what especially the top tier windmills will be able to provide. Because these provide 180 horsepower, which I really wish that was beaver power, because I think that would just be funnier and better. Whereas these provide 300, so you know, almost twice as much, but they do take significantly more resources. They take 40 planks, 20 gears, and 30 paper, which are all pretty late on in the progress. Alrighty, and dry season is going to happen as soon as the sun comes up, so hopefully all of our little beavers are ready. And see, oh, we're going to the farmhouse again. So we're just moving around, collecting stuff. As I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and just put a quick little pause on that. If I need to open it back up, I do have 2 unemployed beavers, so we should be able to. As they are pumping the water out of the river, you can't quite see it yet, but towards the end of this dry season, you should start to notice, instead of being up here, it might start creeping up down here, might be a little bit lower. So you definitely want to make sure that you're not pumping too much water during the dry season, especially in, I know this looks relatively big, but it's not very deep, so you're not getting a lot of water out of it. I might actually just go ahead and do a quick cut here and pop back at the end of the dry season, just because don't think much interesting is going to happen. If something does happen, I will be back. I also never noticed that this building has some grass in it. Just a really awesome attention to detail there as I phase through the buildings. Then I'm going to go ahead and get this grill opened as well. Don't have any wood at the moment, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and pause this lumber mill, just because I don't want to waste any wood. We have plenty of things we need to build, and right now we have 50 planks, which quite frankly is plenty. I'm going to keep this power wheel going because I do love watching them run on the power wheel, even if the wheel's turning and they're not going anywhere, but the animations are fantastic in this game. Looking at our path here, this pathway, which I lined up with the stairs, not lining up in the middle here with the building. So I'm actually going to delete that path, because paths in this game don't cost anything, so there's no real downside to destroying them and replacing. And same with the lumberjack flag, those are free as well. It just takes a builder in order to build them, but there's no resources. So I'm going to delete these 2 lumberjack flags super quick. And I guess I didn't need to delete the one right next to the stairs, because I will still need to use that. But we're going to go ahead and, if I click the right thing, we're going to take out all of those paths right there. We're going to pause the game so nobody freaks out. Connect that. and that. Get the game rolling again, and place our flags. So all that really did was just kind of line this up a little bit better. Once I unlock stairs, I'll delete these two because I can also demolish this slope. Just move all of this path here, and I will do the same thing over on this side once I get enough resources and storage space, because I don't want to lose out on these little bits of food, which at the moment, if I knock all that out, there's a chance that could wind up biting me in the bum, and I don't want to deal with that. So once I have enough wood, I'll be able to move all these back. Just one tile. I don't need to go any crazy. Or 2 tiles, it looks like. 1 tile. And then this can be a straight line as well, which I can actually start working on now if I just go ahead and demolish these bushes, which should be done in no time because the builders have nothing else to do. And we are almost done with our science points up here. So I am going to, once I unlock that, especially because we don't have any resources really besides the planks, I'm going to go ahead and start building a nice little supply section in here. Try to make it look kind of okay, at least at the start. I don't have any stairs or platforms or anything, so it is just going to have to be one level, but I'm going to try to make it so that way we can have enough room to grow in the future. And we should get the science points shortly. As you can see by the thing ticking up here, we're about halfway there. And there is our science points. So we're going to go ahead, click here, unlock our large warehouse. And with that being done, I'm going to just get rid of that because that's not being built anyway. And we're going to start playing around with this. So these are the same length as the standard ones we have. They are 1 wider, and they do have that little bit in the center, which is actually 1 block taller. So we can do some pretty fun things with this. So like for example, if I were to place one there, I could get stairs going up to this level, and then go ahead and place another one right there. So we'll have this storage, and then I can have a nice pathway on top of this with some more storage there. Might be a pretty decent way of doing it. That will provide a lot of storage space. And I would just have to redo some of these roads, but that's not the end of the world. So I think we're actually gonna give that a shot. Let's see. That they put all 51 planks into this warehouse because that's the first one I put down. So once we get going, the planks are gonna wind up being made, and we'll be able to get that one done pretty quick. Alright, and I think while we're just kind of waiting, I'm going to get started on planting this area here. I know I will need more farmhouses in order to do this efficiently. This will at least get us somewhere, and somewhere is better than nowhere. And I'm going to set that to a higher priority than the rest of these buildings, because I want to make sure they get done first. Because food is super important. And the storage, not so much, because the carrots will stay on the ground. They're not going to die once they're grown. They will die if they don't get water, but if they don't get picked, they don't really care. They will hang out in the ground. So if we have a whole field of carrots ready to go, if we do run into food issues, that's not the end of the world, because the farmers will be able to pick it up, bring it to their house, and then the beavers will be able to eat those. Something else you can do with the storage, they have these boxes here. So that number is a desired number, so it doesn't really listen to that as far as I know. But let's say I only wanted this one to be used for food. I can actually go through and tick off, all of the things that are not food. So that way the only things that are going to get stored in this particular one is going to be some variation on food. On these small ones, not super helpful just because they're only 200, but once we get into this, or even the underground storage unit, which can hold 4,000 of something, selecting what you want where is pretty important, because you're not going to want to store or a bunch of food near your industry where you don't have anything to process that, because that's just going to take beavers, you know, from here. And if we put industry down here, they're going to have to walk all the way down, just to get food, just to bring it back to process it, and that's not very practical. You want to try to keep things as close as you can to where they are needed. Another drought realistically is not too far away, and there it is. They tend to happen every like 15 to 18 days up here, so the cycle is how many droughts. So currently we're in wet cycle number 3, and day 12 of that, and again it's somewhere around usually like 15 to 18 days in between droughts, so it does give you plenty of time in order to stock up on water and food and all that kind of stuff, but it's pretty predictable, which is nice in situations like this, or even if you have to worry about stuff. Start of the second dry season of this video, and it is not much different, except this time we have maples going, so you can see we're already up to 20 wood, and we have a bunch of stuff being built. So currently our building beavers just can't keep up, so I'm going to hire 2 more, and then this is actually done as well, so I'm going to set their priority to planting. Similar concept to what I had this first one doing in the first episode, so that way they will pick the ones that need to be picked and then just plant right away and move along. And now that we are in a wood surplus, I'm going to open this back up, and we have a couple babies, but once those grow up, I'll knock that down as well. Once those grow up, we'll be able to get some more planks going and get the storage. And I will have probably one of these just be dedicated for food, and the other one I'll just use for general storage, or maybe food as well, and just use these for general. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but I will knock that off. And as you can already see, we're down to 130 water. That could just be because at the end of the night and first thing in the morning, they do just stop by, grab a quick drink, and go to work or home. So we'll see where that number is by the end, but there's only 2 more days in the dry season, so we'll be fine. I'm just more concerned with this river drying up, which it looks like it's about halfway, so we should be good. But we will need to worry about more water storage, certainly before the next one. So I am actually going to rearrange a couple things up here. Let me see. So I'm going to delete these paths. I have to keep that one. I'm just going to delete all of that there, and I'm just going to move it down 1. So we're going to go just like that. The reason for that is I'm going to be able to, if I can click, I'm going to be able to put a whole row of these water tanks here. Each of them stores 30, so however many I can fit here, 12 to 15 it looks like. That's going to be a lot of water. But we are getting to the point in our little city where we're going to need to start getting something called a hauling post. So the hauling post basically employs up to 10 beavers, and the only job of the hauling post is to just go around, collect resources, move it to where it needs to go, and repeat. So that's going to be super useful with our water being as far away as it is. But again, I don't want to take up any more of this precious green space that we have here for water storage. So we'll place this right in the center of town for right now. These are great to put anywhere you have a lot of stuff. So if you have a lot of industry going on, like we will here soon enough, that's phenomenal, because those 10 beavers are just going to go to town and just move stuff from warehouses to the building and then back to the warehouse, and it will keep your workers that are working in the lumber mill or the gear factory working harder, because they won't have to move anything around. And this is almost full actually, so I'm going to just probably build another those, because you don't want to just leave the wood sitting anywhere, because you know that's wood you could be using for other things, obviously. So we have those four. That will hold us over for quite a bit. And once I get enough science points for what I'm looking for, which I should actually see, 170 total. Perfect. So we're going to unlock that. So I unlocked the stairs and platform. There are 3 different styles of platform. This is 1 high here. There is also a 2 high and a 3 high. So I'm going to start to build my way on down towards this area as soon as I get some of these built. And I'm probably going to just set up some water wheels in here as my power source, and maybe have to use a couple wheels. The wheels are not good for large scale things just because they only put out 50 power, which is perfect for a lumber mill, but it's not going to be nearly enough to do what I need, and it's not practical to have that many beavers. Let me turn this back on. And now that our dry season is over, we are probably going to call it a day at this video and just watch this little beaver go to work during the outro. We're down to 88 water. We're finally at the point where we're going to be able to start building a whole bunch of stuff because our wood supply is finally where we want it to be. As you can see, we're up to a little over 200 wood here, with plenty more that we're going to be able to grab throughout our adventures. And our food store is looking good. We have 117 baked potatoes and about 200 carrots. So I'm probably going to also just get rid of all of those berry bushes, turn them into some other kind of crop, because those 3 farmhouses should be more than enough to keep it going. And if I need to build a 4th, I will. But yeah, for right now, we have more than enough wood. I'll get some more houses going probably, but I will need to figure out the water situation because the water we have right now won't be able to support many, many more beavers. With that being said, thank you everybody for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and always remember to do something kind.